Good morning, Alejandra.
Hi, Santi.
Alvin, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Wins.
Good morning, Santi.
Thank you so much for coming to this class. And this class is all about innovation. Okay, so really important one in terms of what we do in project management. Also a class that is very relevant to what is happening nowadays in terms of change. Very relevant to people that want to start their own businesses too. And in general, it's a class that is very, very general, very broad in terms of its reach. So this can be applied not just to project management, but basically to any business area, which is really good, So it's not a specialized class in project management, even though it's a component. It will give you a lot of reach. So good morning, Richard. Good morning, Tanya.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have Manuel joining as well. How are you guys? All good? How you been?
Good morning.
There you go, Manu. Good morning. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Yes, doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Well, let's hit it. Let's start with this. And hope you guys are doing well. You feel ready for this class. All right, so the class is about innovation, okay? That is the key word, innovation. Yeah, now the problem with innovation is that a lot of people, they think that innovation is developing something new. And it's not. You go and you ask people, hey, what do you think innovation is? Oh, it's developing something new. It's not. So let's start discussing what innovation is, because that developing something new is something that in business is called product development. All right. So product development is a function of the business, and it is involved in developing something and launching it to the market and sell it to the market. All right. And that is product development, which is a really important thing. Don't take me wrong. It's one of the strategies that competitive companies use. When you have a competitive company, a company that is a high performer company, yeah, they select strategies. And one of the most competitive strategies, one of the most aggressive ones, one of those that really can take you to the next level in terms of market share, is product development. So, all right, what we have learned so far. We have learned that innovation is not developing something new. That's good. That's good. Because that is one of the misunderstandings there. All right. We have that engram in our heads. We need to clean it. All right. So no, it's not about you developing something new. That is not innovation. So we have learned that. You see, that's good. That's positive. However, it is important to understand that developing something new is a strategy. It is a business strategy and has a tag name. And that tag name is called product development. Very, very important, all right? And you need to understand that product development itself is a business strategy, all right? You guys, I study in business. Project management is a discipline that is involved in the business environment. So it is important that you get the strategies right. What is another business strategy, guys? Anybody knows? Or anybody can share an experience? So if developing a product, which is product development, that's a business strategy, what would be another strategy? Alejandra, I know it's a difficult one, but let's try, because this is how we learn. By taking the risk of failing, by taking the risk of saying something that probably is not right. Go, Ale.
Strategy for innovation.
What is that?
A new strategy for innovation.
So innovation itself is not. It's not. It's not a strategy.
No, I mean like a strategy for like the business get innovation.
No. And it's a business strategy. A business strategy to achieve a business vision. All right. So, guys.
There's one, I forget the name, but it's like the re-engineering. It's a Japanese technique.
Yes, and that is an administration process. Re-engineering is an administration process. It's when you say, we are going to destroy everything that we have done, and we're going to start from zero.
Yeah,
right?
That way the processes could get innovation and a new way to do it, and could be better sometimes.
100%. But that is an administration process. It takes the entire company to change.
Do you remember the name, Santi?
What is that?
Do you remember the name of the technique?
Re-engineering. That's correct.
Okay.
It's called re-engineering. And the opposite of re-engineering is something that is called constant improvement, which is another administration process. It's not a strategy, right? But that's important. That's what I mean. You know, with all of this, we learn. All right. But guys, product development is one strategy. Another strategy that a business can use is called market. What do you think? Market what? If this is product development, what could be the other strategy? Go ahead.
Market development.
Market development. So we need to understand this, all right? There are two variables here involved. One is product, that is one variable. What is the other variable, guys? What is the other variable? Are you getting this?
Marketing strategy.
So, all right. We need to, what is the, yeah, go ahead, Stuart.
Marketing.
Market. All right. We need to understand these, guys. I'm going to explain this in the whiteboard. Let me just use this. Strategy. Strategy, guys, is a very serious word. It's a serious word. You don't talk about the strategy with everyone. This is because some people think, oh, strategy is doing social media. That is not a strategy. That is a tactic. A tactic. It's an activity. Oh, that strategy is going and have something in television, a TV show or something that will promote our brand. That's a tactic. Oh, my strategy is to develop an event. Wrong. That is not a strategy. That is a tactic. So this is a serious word. Serious word. Because depending on which strategy you choose, you are more likely to achieve your business vision. All right? The business vision. So the reason we learn strategy in business is because we want to achieve the vision. All right, that's it. That's it. So it's a serious thing. It's kind of a secret. You know, you don't go and talk about sex with everyone in the street. You're careful about that word. No, I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. Just to explain this, strategy is the same. It's not a word, it's not a sentence, it's not a concept that you use loosely. So you need to be careful. Yes, you need to be careful when you use the word strategy, because that will tell a lot about your level of knowledge in business. If you go and say, oh, my strategy is doing social media, wrong. That's a tactic. Yeah. So the way we business people develop strategy is analyzing two variables. What is the variable number one, Alejandra?
So that will be product development.
That product development is one of the strategies. The variable will be product. All right.
Okay.
What is the other variable, Stuart?
Market.
Market. All right, cool. Because they are called variables, they mean that they can extrapolate. They can go one way or the other. All right. What are the extremes when it comes to a product? What are the extremes? The extreme is to have a current product, a product that already exists. Yeah, that is one extreme. What is the other extreme?
Create a new product.
That's it. All right, so this variable, which is product, it can take two shapes. One is old product, just to, yeah, current product exist. And the other, and the other shape that it can take, this variable, is new product. All right. Now, the other variable, which is called market, it can take two shapes. One would be the old market, but I use the word old here in the class, all right? But in the book, it's called current market. But it's like kind of old, it already exists. What is the opposite to it? What is the opposite to an old market, Stewart?
No.
New. All right, when you analyze these two variables and you mix these four realities, then you develop the strategy. All right, so let's develop the strategy right now. Pay attention, guys. If you have an old product, something that you're selling already to your market, so it's nothing new for you, and you sell it to the market that you know, to the people that you know, to the market that you're familiar to, that is your old market, your current market. When you have old product and old market, this strategy is called market penetration. All right, so market penetration. That is the name of that strategy. When you have that strategy, you have two variables, product and market, but they are old product that already exists, old market, a market that you already have. What is a market? Is where you sell your product. Is market penetration clear to you guys? Alejandra, is this clear to you? This is the strategy that 80% of businesses use. Because it's so simple. You don't need to change. You are the same company. You don't develop a product. It's the same product, but it's working well. Sometimes you have I don't know, you have seen this, there is like a Spanish donut shop in the Victoria Market. Have everyone seen that shop there? All right. But imagine that there is this restaurant or this place that has been selling this famous food in that city for 10 years. And every weekend when they open, there are lines of people. Do you need to change that? Do you need to change that product? No, it's working well. So it's okay. So it's not about changing just for the sake of it. No, it's change. So when you have a product that is working well and the market that you have is buying from you. They keep buying from you. You don't need to go crazy and find another location. No, you stay in the market that you are for the people that you're selling to. That strategy is called market penetration. And what you want to achieve as a vision in that strategy is to be the leader of that market, is to be the company that sells more of that item, of that product. That is called market penetration, all right? Guys, what I'm telling you is what you learn when you do something like an MBA, but it's very important for today's class because today's class is about innovation. And later on, you are going to understand how these two variables are related to innovation as well. All right, so what happens, all right, I'm going to ask this to Manuel. What happens, Manu, if we have an old product and a new market? That is the situation. We have a product that we sell in this market and it's selling so well that we want to sell somewhere else, in another country, in another place. What is the name of that strategy? When we have an old product and a new market. What do you think, guys?
So it's like introduce an old product in a new market.
Yes, and the name of that strategy is?
A new market.
Market.
Creation.
No, market.
Development.
That's it. So if a company has as a strategy market development, it's because that company is doing so good with that product. But the market that they already have is totally saturated. There are no more space to grow. So what the company decides to do? To go to a new market. This is called, for many companies, exportations. Yes, they start exporting to new markets. All right, good. So now we understand that we have another strategy. There is another two strategies, all right? But let's try the number 3. What about, I'm going to ask this to Alvin. Alvin, what about if what you have is an old market, but you mix that old market with a new product? So you have a market that is doing so good for you. You know, you are very well known in that market. You are a leader. You don't want to move. You really love and connect that market. But the product that you're selling is not anymore interesting to that market. So you develop a new product. So that is old market, new product. What is the name of that strategy, Alvin?
Product development.
Product development. Well done. Well done. All right. And there is just one more strategy. And that strategy is when you have a new product. So you develop always new products. You go all the time thinking about research and development. You are a very innovative company. You know, you have a new product, but also you like to go and expand globally, you know, kind of like Apple kind of company. What is the name of that strategy? Anybody knows? It's called diversification. Diversification. All right, quickly, Alejandra. Market penetration. How are the variables of this strategy?
All product, all market.
Variables of this strategy, market development.
All product, new market.
Product development.
All market, new product.
Diversification.
No. New market. Oh, no, I got confused.
All right. Market penetration, well, which is all product, all market, yeah, which is not changing. It's like what if you don't ask a company, hey, if you ask a company, what's your strategy, and they don't know, believe me, the strategy is market penetration, which is trying to sell more in the market that they already have. The other strategy, market development, of course, new market, you go overseas with the same product that you have here in Australia. Easy. All right, then we have product development, which is You stay in Australia, but you bring a product from Singapore. Or you develop a new product that doesn't exist in this country. All right, good. Diversification, you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of guts, and you just open new markets and develop new products as you go, because you are so entrepreneurial. All right. Now, which one of these 4 strategies is the most difficult one, the most risky one, guys? I'm going to Manu, go.
The last one?
Of course, Manuel, well done. The last one is the most difficult one, the most risky one, because it's so risky to develop new products all the time, and it's so risky to go into new markets. Guys, why it is difficult, why it is risky to go to a new market for a business? Why?
Because you don't know nothing about that. You are not there.
You are not there, you don't know the language probably. What about if you don't know the language? What about if you don't know how to change, the currency change, or you don't know exactly how it works?
The political situation.
The political situation, all right? So the culture, you know, like going to a new market is risky by default. Now, developing a new product, Manuel, is that risky or not?
Yes, it's risky
Of course.
too.
What about if people don't like it?
Yeah.
What about if all the investment that you did, all the time that you invested, wasted because people don't like it?
Yeah. What happens if another competitor show up before you with the same product?
Gone. All the investment gone. So it's risky too. And that's why diversification is the most risky of all strategies. People that use this strategy, they are animals, you know, they just go and kill it. They just want to go for it. And they are okay with the risk. But they are crazy. I mean, seriously, it's so risky. It's like when you see these BMX, you know, bike riders going and doing all these loops in the air. That's risky, man, you know, but it's amazing. Right? Now, product development, medium risk. Market development, medium risk. Why? Because product development, for example, has a lot of risk because you develop something new, the product, but no risk because it's the same market and you know your market. Manuel, you know everything about Australia and how everything works here. For you, it's easy. You know, so it's medium risk because you know Australia, but you are developing something new. So medium risk. Now, imagine that you go, Manuel, and you want to open Lonsdale, Singapore. Well, you know the courses, you know the operations, all of that. The product for you, easy. But then dealing in Singapore is complex. So there will be medium risk as well because you ponderate both risks. So high risk diversification, medium risk market development and product development. Market penetration is the low risk one. It makes sense, yes? Why this one is the low risk. Now, Stewart wins. Which one of these 4 strategies gives more return on investment? Which one will give you more money?
Market development.
Market development. All right, let's see. Stewart, which one of these 4 strategies will give you more money?
I would say market diversification.
Diversification. Manu, what do you think?
Diversification.
Alejandra, what do you think?
Diversification as well.
Is the one that gives you more return on investment? Yes, but it's the most risky one. But like with everything else, the higher the risk, the higher the return, isn't it? So you need to be a winner and someone that is prepared to lose big with this one. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't do that strategy, for example. For me, it's a difficult one. But this market penetration is not good either because you become a commodity, you know, like you are not there in the market to make the market. All right, good. So it's good that we understand strategy now, yeah? How good is that? This is the people that makes more money in a company, eh? The one that chooses which strategy we will use. Because companies need to choose one strategy, always. You know, if you don't know what is the strategy of your company, think about it. It's market development, it's diversification, it's product development. Which one it is? And that will tell lots about the company. If you are in a company that is in market penetration, leave that company because that company will die. Sooner or later, but more likely sooner because the market is changing. All right, cool. So now that we know a strategy, now we can go to this topic. All right, I'm going to start. What is not innovation, Alejandra? What is not innovation?
Creating a new product.
Creating a new product. What is the name of that strategy in business?
Product development.
Yeah. So innovation is not product development. The reason I explain all of that strategy thing is for you to understand this now. Because companies get confused with these two. Because product development is developing something new, like product development. All right, good, we understand that. So what is innovation then? Because it's not product development. So what is innovation? Who can tell me?
The diversification.
Diversification is a strategy, all right, which is developing a new product and going to a new market. All right. So it's not, but it's a really good response anyway. But diversification is a strategy. Product development is a little bit similar to innovation because this is developing something new. And people think wrongly that innovation is developing something new. No.
Is doing things different.
No. Alvin, innovation.
The process?
A process, no. It's not a process. You see? All right, guys. And anyone else wants to say anything about what innovation is?
There'll be something totally new, wouldn't it? That hasn't been seen. So using a new technology of some kind to create something that's totally new.
Developing something new. That is product development still. We need to, that's why I am very, very cautious with this discussion. Because it's not about developing something new. Right. Innovation is, for the very first time, you give people that never thought they will have access to something, you give them just that. All right? So imagine the situation. There is a group of people, a segment of the market that never thought they will have access in their lives to clean water because of the situation they live, or because the place where they live, or whatever is the case. For them having access to clean water, like on a tap, was like, no, that's not going to happen to us. That is not going to happen to us. But somehow, someone find a way for that to actually happen. That is innovation. That is innovation. Is you giving access to a group of people? Is you giving access to a group of people to something which could be a product, could be a service, could be an experience, to something that they didn't have access before. To be honest, that they didn't even think they will have access to. That is the essence of innovation. If we think about innovation from this perspective, we really innovate. Because you know what is something that is around the meaning. Has to be, there is a meaning, and the meaning is, all right, how my company, how my business can give access to something that we produce to a group of people that were not able to get this for whatever reasons, because of the distance, because they don't have the money, because they don't know that language. So you see, it's not about developing something new. Innovation is about your capability to give access to others, the good things that you produce. Happens to be that those others, the other market, they never thought they would have access to it. So I know how you feel about it. Oh my goodness. Yes, but this is how it is. Because otherwise you keep thinking that innovation is developing something new. Even though that is very important, that is more aligned to product development. Innovation itself is about how we, company, give access to people, things that they never thought they will have. There are people that never thought they will have a computer. Because happens to be, guys, seriously, you know, that 20, 30 years ago, to have a computer was something just for big corporations, for governments, you know, for countries, you know, was a different thing. And somehow we end with a computer right now in our hands, a phone.
So Santi, are you trying to differentiate here between market innovation rather than product innovation? So if you were to innovate in a market, would you not be bringing in something that already exists and giving it to somebody else, like the laptop example, in a new market? So that sort of market innovation, is it, rather than product innovation?
No, what I want to explain here is there are two ways to understand this. One is around product development, which I reckon is not right. I reckon that is not right. Me, Santi. I think that for you to call something innovation is not enough to say that is new. For me. And that's why I'm trying to transfer to you. For me, that's not enough. Innovation is, or innovation will be an innovation if someone that didn't have access to that thing, product, service, or experience, for the very first time is having access to it. That is the mindset. What shape it takes? Million shapes. But I don't differentiate innovation in terms of product innovation and market innovation. That's not how I see it. If that's how you see it, great. All right. Now.
So Santi.
Yep.
Would you say that Henry Ford innovating, creating that, fabricating cars in a big mess so people can afford buying a car rather than just rich people buying handmade cars before Henry Ford?
That's exactly what innovation is. Because people that never thought they would have a car because of the production line, which is the innovation, they 2 years later, they oh my goodness, the car is just, all right, I can buy it. That is innovation. All right. Is giving people access to something that they never thought they would have access to. With solar energy is happening nowadays as well. Because of the economies of scale, companies are being able to produce components of these solar technologies to a fraction of the cost they were 4 or 5 years ago. As a result of it, people that never thought they would have access to solar lighting, they are having now access to solar lighting. So again, it's about the meaning. It's about the meaning. All right. But this is okay as well. You know, I'm just giving you my perspective. All right, good. Now, with this, I finish and then we move to the platform. All right. But it's just that I want to give the basis of what we'll be discussing today. Another important thing is to see innovation from the Clayton Christensen perspective. All right. Clayton Christensen is someone from Oxford University who has been researching innovation more than anyone, I believe, in terms of what innovation is. So Clayton Christensen, yeah, is a professor that is 100% into innovation, and that is the person that, I mean, I have been learning a lot from when it comes to this topic. And he sees innovation from a different perspective, but it's a really, really interesting one. And I want to share that perspective with you today as well. All right. So there is something that is called the Innovators Dilemma. There is actually a book that is called the Innovators Dilemma by this guy, Clayton Christensen. And then he goes and says to people, when you want to innovate in a company, this is Clayton Christensen's perspective, you can end developing two kinds of innovations. One is called sustaining. And the other one, anyone knows?
Maintaining.
Sustaining innovation, and the other, which is maintaining innovation. Sustaining, and what is the other one? Opposite to this one? Disruptive. All right. So this is Clayton. This is Clayton Christensen, all right? This is not me. I was the other guy before telling you about the perspective I have about the innovation. Clayton Christensen, he says, this works in the following way. Companies, if the company is here, all right, they need to say, we go this way or we go that way. That's why this is called the Innovators the Innovators Dilemma. So if you have a company, you can choose, all right, I can do sustaining innovation or I can do disruptive innovation. What is sustaining innovation, guys? What is disruptive innovation then? All right. Remember when we were discussing variables before, when we were discussing a strategy, you remember that we were discussing variables? Yes. It's very important to understand business models using variables, yes? So what variables will play here in this analysis? One of those variables is called job creation. Job creation. Which one of these alternatives will create more jobs? Sustaining innovation or disruptive innovation? Which one will create more jobs? Sustaining innovation will create more jobs. What do you think, Patricio? Guys, it's difficult if you don't have your camera on. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it. Yeah. Prepare my class, hours, mate, to give you these lessons. And the minimum thing that you could do is to have your camera on. Seriously. All right. I understand it happens sometimes, but all the time, make it difficult because I want to involve you and I don't know you are engaged or not. All right.
I'm going to need to restart then, Santi, because my camera's not working. So I'll restart and come back.
Awesome. In. Let's thank you, Richard. Let's do that. All right, guys. So think about it. If you want to develop more jobs, if you want to create more jobs in the economy, which one of these alternatives will give you more jobs?
Disruptive.
Why, Ale? Why you think that way? Tell me.
Because disruptive for me, like something that is going to be like kind of wow, like crashing, like really new. Everything is super new and like different. So that will need a lot of work to get that done.
100%. A lot of people will need to learn how that works, how that new technology works, because that is going to be the new way of developing something, whatever it is. And that will be a big industry because that's where the market is going. So that will make a very competitive place, a very competitive country. Guys, I am from South America. Anyone else? Ale, I think you are from South America as well. That is the problem in South America, guys. In South America, we don't do disruptive innovation. We do sustaining innovation, and we want to have more people and more jobs. No, it doesn't work that way. When you develop something new that is disruptive, then when it comes to jobs, you create more jobs, all right? That's one very important variable. The other important variable that we need to analyze here is growth. Growth, yeah, growth. Which one of these two will give more growth to the company? Sustaining, disruptive will give more growth to the company. Yes, why? Because the company is changing, because you are tensioning the company, because you are expanding the company. It's like, I don't know, if you want to have, for example, a Manu, I know that you like exercise, Mike. Help me with this. If you want to have a fit body, you know, you need to go to the gym, you need to run,
do a good diet,
eat the diet,
rest well.
Yeah, and you get your body to different situations, so the body feels like there is the need to change, isn't it, Manuel? Because if you don't get your muscles to some level of stress, they're not going to react. All right, but because of that level of stress, they react and they take the shape of the exercise that you are executing. All right. So it's the same. When we expand our company, when we are uncomfortable in the company, we make the company no larger in terms of size, but we make it growth in terms of change, right? So this is the dilemma. Now, some companies would say to you, no, I don't do this. I don't like disruptive innovation. We are not prepared to do that. The company will tell you, no, we do sustaining innovation. So what is sustaining innovation? Sustaining innovation is what we know as product development, which is every year or every so, you develop a new variation of that product. So you have another time, one more time, interest in the market. But you are not really developing something new. I mean, imagine the automotive industry, yes? So you have the Camry, the Toyota Camry, 1998. And then you have the Toyota Camry 2000 with, I don't know, navigation. Is that disruptive? No, it's sustaining. It's basically the same car with an extra feature, all right? And that's what a lot of companies do. But there is one point, a situation in the market when you have a company that is doing something totally different to Toyota's, totally different. What is the example of that company, guys?
Tesla.
Tesla. So is Tesla sustaining or disruptive? Disruptive. Which company is growing more? Toyota or Tesla?
Tesla.
'Tesla.
Just this week, it was announced. 'Cause 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 just this week. So what to do? And that's why this is super important to understand, which is the innovator's dilemma. The situation is the following. If you keep doing this all the time because you want to play safe in this changing environment, it's very, very, very likely that your company will die. Because these are disruptive times. So I just want you to think about it, because a lot of companies that don't exist today is because they never decided to change, and now they are micro companies, small companies that are eating the lunch.
Yeah,
Right,
it's like
cool.
the example of Kodak.
Would you please, Manuel, share that example with the students, Mike? That's a really good example, please.
So the company Kodak, they didn't change to the digital cameras. So they are still in paper, and I don't know what is the name, the film, the old film to make pictures, so they disappear.
They disappear because at that time, when that technology was available, just starting to be available, they thought, no, we don't need to do that because we're Kodak. You know, we have all our customers all over the world. We have all the processes registered. We have all the knowledge. We have all the distributors. We have all the factories. We don't need to do that. Yeah. And
How about
Yes?
Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, like social media? So I think at the beginning was sustaining innovation, where like he was improving every year, he was changing
Yes.
to a new product. But now I think he will become a disruptive as he creates Meta.
I think so as well. I think the same. I think 100% the same, Sarah. I think that the new thing has to be different in many, many ways, in terms of how it is used, in terms of its reach, for all the rebranding to, to have sense. Has to be. Let's see, but I definitely believe, and that's going to be the case. And remember, we are talking about a company that is extremely successful. So it's very, very likely that they are developing something new that will be disruptive. All right. So if you are in this situation, please remember that you need to make a decision in terms of, right, should I keep going sustaining? Should I go disruptive? I'm going to tell you what happens in the company I was working for. I was working for a company that is called Kenworth, Australia, which is a heavy duty truck company here for 7 years. And we were the market leaders, 27% of market share, 28 every year, mate. I'm telling you. And there are 10 competitors here. You have Iveco, you have Mercedes-Benz, you have CAT, you have Mack, you have Renault. They are competitors all over the place. And this company, Kenworth, 26% of market share. All right. And then about 5-6 years ago, a new company from Sweden came to Australia to sell trucks. Anyone can tell me what is the name of that Sweden company?
Scania?
No. Scania is from Sweden as well?
I think so.
Volvo. Volvo came from Sweden to compete with the Australian truck, with a truck that people have a tattoo in the arm, because that is how important is that truck for the Australian truckie. All right. And you know what my company at that time thought? No, nobody will buy that truck. That's not for real truckies. A Volvo, a family cab being a truck to go from Melbourne to Darwin, nobody will buy that truck. That truck is plastic. Our truck is metal. And that truck is plastic, the company was saying. And I told the guys, I mean, when I say the guys, I mean, I told them, guys, this is going to be disruptive. We better change now, and we start developing a product that can compete hand to hand against the Volvo truck. And they were like, no, Santi, you don't know Australia, my friend. You need in Australia a heavy duty truck, something that will last 40 years in the most harsh conditions, they say. All right, well, I know people, I know fleet managers, I know the industry, and I can tell you that they make money by saving on fuel cost. That's how they make money, all right? So we better develop a product that will be competitive in terms of fuel consumption, ergonomics, safety, not just in terms of duration and quality. And the company went, no. Anyway, guys, listen what happens. Volvo started with 0 market share, and in 5 years, they were having 28% market share, which was our market share. They ate our lunch. I told those guys what was happening. We had some issues because of it. I left the company. So managers that are very, very cautious about taking risk and adapting to change are those that kill the companies. The enemy of innovation is a good manager. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to try to find something. All right, I will find it in the break. It's all good. And then, all right. So it's 9:52, guys. Let's do a 10 minutes break. Then we came back and we continue with the lesson. All right.
One.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming back. So, if we can define disruptive innovation in few words, we may say disruptive innovations make products affordable and accessible. All right? Disruptive innovation make products affordable and accessible. Now, sustaining innovation, yeah, it make, what do you think? It make good products. It make good products better. It makes good products better. All right. Now, when we think about disruptive innovation, we have defined that disruptive innovation creates jobs, creates growth, all right? But something that we haven't said is when you are doing disruptive innovation, you need capital. You understand what I mean? You need to invest, you need investors. We haven't discussed about it, yeah? We haven't talked about that component yet. When we are doing disruptive innovation, we have a need for capital. We need capital, we need money. So it demands your capability to access to capital. Now, when you are doing sustaining innovation, you don't need that investment. The factory has been built. The machines have been bought. The investment has been done. So here is when you make money, when you improve margins. What is a margin in business, guys? Patricio, what is margin?
I'm not familiar with that concept.
The difference
Richard.
between cost and benefits?
Yes. So when you are doing sustaining innovation, that difference is bigger. You start making more money because now you are getting advantage of what you have invested in. So you have more margins. So that is important to understand, guys, because here, when you are doing disruptive innovation, you are expending money. You need investors to support you. You know what I mean? You need people to go alongside with you to support your innovation. But here, when you are in sustaining, which is what is not for me innovation, yeah? But when you are here in sustaining, that's when you start making money because you already invested in everything, everything is done, and now you start making actually money. So that's one of the benefits. Another benefit as well is that you get market share. So you start selling and distributing your product more because now you are recognized. But there is a problem. The company doesn't grow. The company stays as it is. So little growth. Here, we have growth. The company starts. The company is competing in a new market, has developing something new. Amazing. All right, good. So look, we have disruptive innovation, we have sustaining innovation. Usually what happens with companies, they start here, like Ford, and then they go there. Are you understanding this? Usually companies start here with disruptive innovation. And then once they get big and fat, understand what I mean, and comfortable, then they stay then sustaining because it's making good money for them.
It can be the opposite.
I don't know, what do you mean with the opposite?
Like from sustaining to disruptive.
All right, but there, yes, but always, all good one, Sarah, good one. But always, then you move from sustaining to this one that is called efficiency. All right. So yes, we are in disruptive. We go sustaining. Then from sustaining, we go down to efficiency. And then from efficiency, yes, you can start again. So, all right. So let's talk about the efficiency innovation then. So when you have efficiency innovation, what happens? Do you think that you create jobs? All right, let's talk about this first. All right, when we were doing disruptive innovation, we thought we say it creates jobs. It creates jobs. Now in sustaining innovation, guys, do we create jobs?
No.
No, we don't, because people are
maintain.
You
You
maintain.
Yeah.
Yes, Manu, thank you very much for understanding this. Fantastic. All right, now in efficiency innovation, what happens with jobs? We create them, they maintain, or we destroy them?
Destroy them. You reduce the cost.
Yes, Mike. Yes, exactly. So and that's why I'm saying, Sarah, before we need to go to this one, because here is when the company makes all the money, Mike. Here is when the company makes all the money that is required to start again. You understand? You understand what I mean? Because with all that money, because remember what I told you here you need capital, you need money. Remember that I told you that? So you need, how you got that money? From investors, but also from your own company, because you have done the cycle of innovation. You get to a point where everything is so innovative, automated, that you are actually really making money because you are the leader in the industry. You get all that money to start again. And that is what companies like Apple do, because they have the money to keep innovating. That's why companies like Tesla keep growing as they're growing, because they understand these guys. And that's what they want you guys. They want you guys to understand this. Because I don't know, for me, it makes 100% sense. All right, awesome. Any questions, guys? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, what about if we go to the platform, please? I'm going to share my screen now. So Diploma of Project Management. Then you go to the learning plan. All right, and now let's go to the lesson, okay?
Hi, this is Monica. I am an artificial intelligence teaching assistant at Lonsdale Institute and SOT, the School of Digital. This is an overview video of your incoming class with your teacher, Sandy Vella. The class has been carefully designed to train project managers so they can create and nurture a work environment that actually enables and supports innovation. Of course, we want you to apply this across all areas of project management. This class will gradually expose you to critical knowledge required to establish work practices to better support and drive innovation in the workplace. You will leave the Zoom class feeling confident when evaluating new ideas for business or project improvement. Enjoy your class, and thanks again for doing your diploma of project management with us. Bye.
All right, so super important there is that we are doing this to support innovation in the workplace, all right? So now we need to connect what we have learned this morning. We need to connect that to project management, all right? Because what we learned this morning was more aligned to understanding a strategy and understanding innovation from the business perspective. Awesome. Now that we have that knowledge, we can connect it to project management, all right? So the reason we use innovation in project management is to support the innovation process in the company. So one of the first things that we need to do is to establish work practices. What is that we need to do in order, we project managers, to support innovation in the marketplace? All right, I'm just going to find out if you guys understood this. Patricio, what is the role of the project manager when it comes to innovation? What is the role of the project manager when it comes to innovation?
Identify the strategy of innovation that he wants to apply.
No. Sarah, what is the purpose of the project?
Giving access to the team, the things that they never think about.
I am asking something very, very deep, which is what is the purpose? What is the reason why the project manager needs to know about this innovation, things that we are learning today? What is the purpose? It was in the video.
To grow?
Well, that will be awesome if that happens, you know, but that will be the result then, yeah? But guys, the purpose is to support innovation in the workplace. Is that clear to everyone? Because then if we don't make the connection here now, it's not going to work. All right, so because we have learned what innovation is, what is not, we have learned what the strategy is, what is not, just to be ready for this moment. So now we need to connect that to project management. And if you don't understand how this is connected, then you are not going to get the class, all right? This is connected at purpose level, which means that we learn this innovation in project management in order to support innovation in the workplace. Support, all right? Which means that you will be moving people, talking to people, you know, about innovation, how important it is to change, how important it is to find out something else to do, how to solve a solution to a problem, how to make something accessible to someone for the very first time, all the time. Yeah, that's why, for example, Manu, when we talk about online education, it's an important topic because that is what will make people that never thought they would have access to Australian education, access for the very first time. This is what I mean. Yeah, with this program, for example, we can have someone studying in Africa or in Singapore or in Russia, no problem. And they never thought they would have access to something like this. But now that is in the market, that is accessible, they go, oh, really? I can do that for that money. Awesome, I will do it. That is innovation. My business, for example, when it comes to School of Digital, I reckon is highly related to innovation. Highly related, highly related, very different to other organizations in this industry. Giving access to people for the first time to something that was not accessible, at least not in that fraction of money to the market. All right, so what do we need to do? Now that we know the purpose, we need to identify people. We need to find out who is pro-innovation, who is against innovation. That's it. Because that is the reality. There is some people in the company that will like you to do things. There are people in the company that will try you, that will try to stop you to do things. That is the reality. We know that. So who is who? All right, now that you know that, then you need to identify what is the vision of the company. What is that vision of the company? And you need to find out if that vision is engaging, if that vision is actually giving people a direction. And if you find that vision, then you explain your team that we are doing these projects in order to help the company to get that vision, right? This is super, super important what I just told you. Guys, what is a vision? A vision is something that is happening now or something that will happen tomorrow.
Something for the future.
All right, exactly. So we want to get there. We want to be there. We already thought about how it looks like. When we think about visions, what we do is like we travel. Yeah, we go to the future and then we open our eyes. Do we like what we see? If the answer is yes, we want to get there. All right, that's the vision that we want to get in terms of our business, our vision. Now, what can I do at project level? Guys, what can you do at project level to help the company to get there? You see the connection now? You see the connection now? If you connect innovation to the company's vision, then you develop and support projects that will help the company to achieve just that. If the company doesn't have a vision, then no good. That is the first thing that you need to solve. Yeah, Sarah, you have a company. You need to think about it. You need to think about what is the vision of my company in 2022. Not in 2027, it's too far. Not in 2023, it's too far. 2022, what is that we want to achieve in 2022? How does it look like? Do I like it? All right, yes, we like it. What projects we need to run in order to help our company to get there? And that is how the class is connected. All right. And that is about identifying organizational objectives and practices. All right. Now, work conditions. Are the work conditions to facilitate innovation there? Policies? Is people okay when someone fails? What are the work conditions to support innovation? All right. Now, what are the resources? Is this a company? Is our business a company that invite experts to talk about innovation? Guys, is our company a company that invite experts to talk about innovation? Yes or no? If the answer is no, we don't do that here in this company. All right, it may be time for you to change that, to get inspired. Because if we don't get inspired to change, then probably we are not going to change. We need that motivation. Sometimes we find that motivation in somewhere else, or in someone else, or somewhere else. So it's important to get that stimulus. And then we can build a team. Then once we have all of this in the environment, we can start building the team. All right. So that's all good. Now, I have discussed all of this here, but you can read about all of this in more detail. But critical, that's why I wrote it in bold. It's about support innovation. Support innovation. All right, that is important. That's important. Look, this is a good description of innovation here. Innovation is a process that allows a group of people to access something, a product or service that otherwise they will never have access to. Oh my goodness, you see that? That's it. Allows a group of people to access something, a product or a service that otherwise they will never have access to. If you can do that in your business is innovating. Yeah. If you can do this in your business, you can get a group of people that never thought they will have access to your services and experiences, and you make that happen. That is innovation. All right, awesome. Now, let's go to the next part, which is the point number 7. Here, we need to start talking about responsible innovation. All right. So I'm just going to close the window for a little bit to talk about this. Responsible innovation, okay? what is the impact of our innovation? What is the impact of our innovation in terms of the community? What is the impact of our innovation in terms of our business? What is the impact of that innovation in terms of our customers and market? All right. It is important to analyze that too. This is one of the best elements of this unit, by the way, which has been updated by the French government in October last year. And it's, all right, guys, you are teaching innovation to students, tell them about responsible innovation. And what is that? Is understanding that if you do something, there will be a consequence in the market. What is the impact of that thing that you're doing? To the community, to your employees, the people that is working in your team, to your customers. All right, that's important to analyze. And we're going to be disclosing this a little bit later in a couple of exercises that we're going to be doing in groups. All right. So I'm going to divide the group in three. All right. And you are going to discuss about what is sustaining, what is disruptive, and what is architectural innovation. All right. I haven't explained yet what is architectural innovation though. All right. But I'm going to explain that to the group that needs to do that topic for the group later on to resume with the rest and explain that. So allow me to divide the group. And what you're going to do is you're going to find examples, 3 examples of sustaining innovation, 3 examples of disruptive innovation, 3 examples of architectural innovation. So I'm going to break the rooms in 3. Please join your rooms, guys. rooms, iPad, Manu, join. What is it? Breaking rooms, closing rooms.
We are back.
We're back. Yes, awesome. All right, awesome. All right, so we have as a discussion topic 3 alternatives to innovation. We have disruptive, we have sustaining, and we have architectural. Let's start with the architectural innovation, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So our team discussed architectural innovation, wherein the definition would be improvements on existing products in the market. So the first example that we talked about is product integration between products. So in the Internet of Things, for example, in Samsung, they have different appliances like fridges or air conditioners and televisions, and they made it so that they can work with each other inside the home to create an ecosystem. So that's one example. Another example that we talked about is video streaming services, Blockbuster. So previously, video streaming services were just independent services, and then Blockbuster integrated them into one, thereby improving the user experience, removing the inconvenience of them switching between these different streaming services. Thirdly is smart cars. So cars were previously like manual, and then eventually became automatic, and then now it's becoming smart. It's becoming self-driving, and then AI is also integrated there.
Yes,
Also
nice.
part of like product. Another example that was given is like and the last example is Apple Watches. For example, watches were previously just watches that tell time, but Apple has made it into a smart device and then kept on improving on it yearly and adding features onto it. So
yes, thank you for those examples. Fantastic, fantastic. Look, architectural.
I have a question.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, Sarah, go ahead.
But McDonald's in this case, is not an improvement of existing product.
I heard when he said that. Yes, I heard that. It's not really an improvement of an existing product, right? Because the improving of an existing product is related to sustaining innovation, all right? You do constant improvement, you make it better as you advance. It's nothing disruptive, you know.
Like Apple?
Like Apple, when they just keep updating the iPhone, you know, when they just keep updating the iPhone every year. I mean, it's sustaining innovation. There is nothing really, but the first iPhone, yes, it was disruptive. All right. So
I've been said, but if they are creating, for example, Apple, they're creating Apple Watch, which is that a different product, and it would be art.
Yes, but let's think about Apple Watch and why Apple Watch is an architectural innovation, and Albin is right. Watches already existed, yeah? So the wearing a watch is not an innovation, all right? So let's start from there. Now, that particular watch, which is a smart watch, now can be used not just to find out what time is it, but to receive messages, to probably listening to music and many other things.
Yeah.
And that is what architectural innovation is. It's a very smart move. You take advantage of innovations that already exist and people know how to use them, and you put them all together. So it's not an improvement of an existing product, even though, because the product didn't exist before. Yeah. If you think about the photocopy machine, for example, the photocopy machine allows you to do 3 or 4 things: faxes, stacks, copies, scanners. That is an architectural innovation. You are taking different things and you put them all together. Like nowadays, the washing machine is one thing, and the dryer machine is another thing. In some places, like in Japan, they are integrated. The same machine does both functions. All right. So that is architectural innovation, because you were forced to do something that way so it can fit in a small place. All right. But in Australia, people don't do that. People buy the washing machine and the dryer, and that's how it is. But when you get things together so they can do 3 or 4 things, that is architectural innovation. And it's very smart. It's very smart. A lot of companies do pretty well doing this. They develop a lot of products because they combine different features from different products, architectural. All right. Good one. Good one. Disruptive innovation, please. Who can explain disruptive?
Sorry, Arvind, he just said that the alternative term is product integration of architectural.
Yes, totally, because architectural is doing that. It's integrating products into one. I believe that it's a smart move, because you are not investing in the change. You are not investing in developing each individual innovation. You just go and say, all right, this can be used for this product, but also that can be used for this product. And then I combine everything and I develop something new to the market, like the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch is a really good example of it. The photocopy machine is a really good example of it. An utilitarian vehicle, for example, is a really good example of it. It's a vehicle that you can use to go to the supermarket. Like the utes in Australia, this is amazing, because you can use that ute to go to the supermarket. You can use that ute to go to do 4-wheel drive camping with your mates, and you can and you can use that ute to go and do your work if you're trading. That is a fantastic product. It's architectural innovation. It's combining different things into one. The ute is a really good example of architectural innovation. It works in some markets. In Australia, for example, is a way of life. The ute culture, architectural. All right, fantastic. Good question, Sarah. Yes, it's not improving a new product. It's not improving a product that is sustaining. All right, who is doing disruptive, please? So we have done architectural. Which group is doing disruptive innovation?
Disruptive, we were saying about this car company that's making cars with a 3D printer.
That is a fantastic example. That is a fantastic example. You have a new technology, which is the 3D printers, and now they are moving to a higher level, which is printing at large scale. And now you can have, I didn't know about the cars, but I knew about the houses and how you can use 3D printing using concrete and cement to build houses. That is unbelievable. And that is 100% disruptive. Why this is disruptive? Because it's making, for the very first time, a house available to a market segment. Because obviously, this innovation will make the cost of production of that house a third, a quarter of it was before. Because with the 3D machine to build a house, you are investing a quarter or a third of what you were investing before in terms of time, in terms of resources, in terms of technologies and machines. So you transfer that to the final customer, and the final customer will say, oh my goodness, now I can buy a house for a third of what it was 5 years ago. Thank you, company, for doing that. Because of you guys, now I can buy a house. That is innovation. That is disruptive innovation. Really good example. I reckon probably the best example that we can get is the 3D printing to build houses and cars. All right, beautiful. Which group? Thank you, Diego. Which group is doing sustaining then? Yep, sustaining.
That's our group.
Go for it, Rich.
So our example was, well, we had a couple of examples, but the example was the taxi industry. So Uber being a disruption business model, where old taxi services have had to try and sustain themselves by, I guess, implementing components of what Uber had. So using apps and stuff to try and be similar to Uber, but really they're just sustaining themselves because they're not able to compete really, because their business model is quite different, but they're trying to adapt to sustain their business.
Look at this example, guys, how good it is. Yes, we have an industry like the taxi industry that was mainstream. It was a very powerful industry. I remember that people were buying, taxi licenses and taxis in order to make extra money. I mean, that was a really good industry just a few years ago. Now totally disrupted by Uber, totally disrupted. Now, whose fault? Uber? No. The fault is these people that were managing that particular industry. They never thought about moving on and disrupting the industry again. They just saw, yeah, let's sustain up here. Let's just keep doing things as we have been doing with a tweak or two, which is product development, is constant improvement, but it's not really innovation, and they never innovated. The taxi industry never innovated. That's why Uber got the market just like this. Unbelievable. Guys, management, be careful. Like management, or what we refer as good management, is the most dangerous thing in a company right now. Be careful, because these people that were managing these taxi companies, they thought, oh, we are the best managers. That's why we have such a good business. Because of them, they lost the position in the marketplace because of them, because of the good managers. By the way, I'm going to open an attachment that I sent to you just before. I'm just going to share the screen. This is, what is it? It's an extract of this book, which is called Reimagine, Tom Peters. Amazing resource when it comes to innovation and business management. Amazing resource, like one of the best resources I have ever found. I love this book too much. It's in English, that I also have it in Spanish. Like that much, I love it. So good source if you want to research about what we're talking about. The attachment is about that group. It's a photo that I just took when we were talking about this just before. So I'm going to share the screen because this is important. All right. It says, good management was the most powerful reason leading firms failed to stay atop the industries, precisely because these firms listened to their customers, invested aggressively in technologies that would provide the customers more and better products. What is better products? Disruptive innovation or sustaining? Who remembers? Sustaining, all right? Sustaining is develop a better product, all right? So they failed to stay at the top of the industry because they were listening to the customers. That's why I don't like market research. Be careful with market research as well. Because if you listen to your customers all the time, you don't change much. You just keep doing what they have in their minds. So they fail to step at the top because they listen to the customers, because they provide the customers more and better products of the sort they wanted. and because they carefully studied market trends and systematically allocated investment capital to innovation that promised the best returns. Best returns. Guys, which innovation gives you best returns? At the beginning, disruptive or sustaining? Sustaining, yeah, because we have this big margin. Remember that we were talking about it and someone was talking about McDonald's. All right. And because of that, they lost their position of leadership. And this is from the book, The Innovator's Dilemma. All right. And now Tom Peters, this guy, took that paragraph and he changed it to this. Good management was the most powerful reason leading firms fail to stay at the top of the industries, precisely because these giant bureaucratic firms listen to the giant bureaucratic large customers, invested aggressively in marginally innovative technologies that would provide the giant bureaucratic customers more and better products of the sort they already had and therefore wanted more of. And because they carefully study market trends, which always say, do more of what you are already doing with a micro twist or two, and systematically allocated investment capital to innovations that promise the best returns, which are always the most conservative innovation. They lost the position of leadership. Guys, for me, this is extremely important, guys. Like if you can get the meaning of that paragraph, you are going to be more careful when you do your work. You're going to be more careful when you do your work. Because we have been educated to be conservative in terms of how we manage companies. And that is good. Of course it is. Always is not a constant. All right, it is good. As a benchmark, all right, fantastic. To maintain quality levels, awesome. But to run the company, as a constant, it's going to happen like what happened to Kenworth. 25 years in Australia, market leaders, 25 years. Volvo came to the country 5 years, they lost their position of leadership. So, all right, let's just keep that in mind. All right, fantastic discussions. Thank you guys for having done the exercise. Let's just continue with the rest. All right. So we have done the team discussion. Yeah. All right, we have talked about the impacts of innovation, and this is important from the perspective of responsible innovation. We have discussed about the importance of discussing with the stakeholders ideas that are related to innovation. We have identified, that it's important to have resources to enhance innovation in the work environment, like policies and procedures that actually allow innovation in the work environment. We have now the ability to support innovation in the workspace and to assist team members to adapt and perform in a new work environment, to assist team members. That's why it is important, guys, that you also start learning a little bit more about change management. Change management is important here, guys, all right? Change management is important here. If you guys think that change management is something loose somewhere, no. For the project manager, change management is important. Yes? Because you are disrupting the company, you are creating change. Some people will be affected. Yes? Especially when you do efficiency innovation, okay? You know that. What happens when you do efficiency innovation wins? What happens in terms of labor? What happens to the people that is working in your business when you do efficiency innovation? What happens to that people?
Morning.
No. Patricio, what happens to the people that is working in your team, or to a lot of them, when you do efficiency innovation? What happens to them?
You do what? Sorry.
What happens to the group of people that is working with you, to your employees, to your people in your company, if you execute efficiency innovation? Mm-hmm. Sorry to stop you guys, but it's because we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
In order
Probably
to
they are
understand.
scared because their position is in a big race.
Yeah, I guess they have to be more efficient, or they are going to get fired probably.
Yeah, all right. So what is going to happen to this group of people? They are going to be losing their jobs. They're going to be losing their jobs. Now, if you are a responsible company, would you care about these people losing their jobs or not?
Yes.
Because you are a social responsible person, yes. You know, you care about them. So you have a change management plan to manage that change, not just for you as a company, but also for the community and also for your employees and customers. Are you getting this? It's important that we understand now the impacts of innovation, because if we don't take this in consideration, we are not learning innovation right. Innovation will create disruption. Disruption will create change. People will be affected because of that change. You need to have in place a change management plan. If you guys are not familiar with this term change management, please start studying about it, because that is important for the project manager. If you really care about this qualification that you're doing, if you really care about it, it is important that you understand that in terms of career development, it's very likely that you will be studying change management when you finish doing project management, okay? So it's just for you to see how this is connected in terms of innovation. Innovation creates disruption, disruption creates change, people is affected by the change. If you are a responsible company, how can I help that people to find a new job? How can I retrain? Hey, listen up. How can I retrain that people so they start working in the new innovation that we're doing, the disruptive one? Guys, please. When the company is doing efficiency, is the company making little, medium, or a lot of money? When the company is doing efficiency.
A lot of money.
A lot. It's crazy. Everything is automated. It's almost passive income. It's almost passive income. All right. A good company, and that's why it's important to talk about governance in project management, a good company will be investing those dividends, those benefits into new projects to keep with the innovation cycle. And this is good management. This is the good management, the allowing the company to change. If that means that a department or two are going to disappear, all right, we manage that. But happens to be that some companies, they have very powerful managers that they say, no, we don't want to change. And the reason the company doesn't want to change is because that manager doesn't want to lose his or her job. All right. So good analysis here. All right, now so now we understand how we can assist team members. We need to upskill them. I have been talking about this for a while. And Manuel and I, we have been discussing about this for a while as well. The importance of the workplace, the company, is the new university. Is the new place where you learn, because everything is changing. Do you want to affect people or you want to help them? Oh, we want to help them. All right, let's give them the training that they need in order to adapt today to the change that will happen tomorrow. If the company can help people at that level, that is real social responsibility, don't you think? All right. All right, let's talk about how we can encourage people to actually be innovative in the workplace. How can we get people to feel okay proposing innovation? Lance Nicholas, my friend, look, we're talking about innovation, of course. This is the topic, all great. Now, how can you get people to feel comfortable, to feel okay when proposing, when doing innovation in the workplace? What can you do as a business owner?
You can explain to them what these innovations will do, and try to make them comfortable about exploring new things in the business.
Yes. That's great. Can you repeat the last sentence? Making them feel comfortable.
Yeah, making them feel comfortable about exploring new ideas.
Exploring new ideas. That's it. Making them feel comfortable about exploring new ideas. Making them feel comfortable about exploring new ideas. Well done, Lance. That is our role then. That's simple. So what is the role? The role as a business owner, because we are looking at this from that perspective too today. Remember, today we are combining business management strategy. So from the business owner perspective of the person at the top, how you can develop policies. Listen, how can you develop policies and procedures that will help and celebrate failure? Failure. It is okay to fail in this company, you would say. And if you fail, we're actually going to celebrate it. What is not good is not to try. Eh? That is what is not good. But if you're trying and you fail and you're bleeding and you have bruises because of that big jump that you just did, and you get to the other side and you are destroyed and bleeding and feeling like shit, still we celebrate it, even if you didn't make it. And we have a policy and a procedure that is mapping out how we help you with that. How important is this? Yeah, to have this culture. If we don't have this culture, people will not propose anything. If you have the other culture, which is, if you fail 3 times, you're out. People will try once. Once they will try. One. And then they are not going to risk it. 3 times I'm out, I keep quiet. So how important is for the project manager that eventually will be managing a program or a business to think what, before the project is established, what are the policies and procedures in this company to support innovation? So I know what is the framework. I know how is the culture. Awesome. All right, so we're going to do another discussion. And this discussion is about the impacts of innovation. All right, so I'm going to divide the group as well in 3. And I'm going to give you the specific topic once you join it. Let's open all rooms. All right, join your rooms now.
What are the direct impact of my innovation? What are the indirect impact of innovation? That's basically the 3 and the purpose. So actually the direct comes because sometimes we can harm our clients. That's the case with the Wi-Fi, that's the case with Facebook because they will use your data. So as Mark Zuckerberg said a few days ago or a few weeks ago, it's very important to take into consideration that what we will share, we will have an impact. And the third one is the indirect impact of innovation, the direct impact. So as Mark Zuckerberg said a few days ago or a few weeks ago, it's very important to take into consideration that what we will share, we will have an impact, and maybe they will use it for a certain purpose. So actually it's a direct impact of innovation. And the third one is the indirect impact of innovation. The recycle of things is very important. So it's not because a client wants something that we are supposed to deliver these things. Or maybe we have sometimes customer centricity. We observe the consumer. And then ask you, what did you want? You will tell me that at that time.
Of course. So
Ask customer driven, or maybe we have then, according to their needs that we discover, we will give an answer. The last decade, we have had more than 10 generations of iPod, iPhone, and so on and so forth. How could we build, how could we produce, what is the production of an iPhone, production of an iPod? What could we do with the product? The recycle of things is very, so it's not because a client wants some things, and that's a responsibility. We should question the request, the needs of the clients. And maybe we can say, no, I won't do it. All of the clients, the consumer, they are not engineers. They are not able to think about the consequence of what they want. For instance, I will give you an example. When we have the touch screen, the iPad screen, the touch screen, and rare earths are very reduced, of course, the resource of the planet. We have just one planet with more and more people. Maybe everybody wants to have now do it because we have of what we are going to do for them. And the consequence, to check the consequence of what we are going to do for them. And the consequence, because sometimes we can harm our clients. That's the case with the Wi-Fi, that's the case with Facebook, because they will use your data. So as Mark Zuckerberg said a few days ago, or a few weeks ago, it's very important to take into consideration that what we will share, we will have an impact, and maybe they will use it for a certain purpose. So actually it's a direct impact of innovation. And the third one is the indirect impact of innovation. The indirect impact of innovation is when you do something wrong, not to your client, but also to the ecosystem. For instance, I really like to use the example of the nano socks, that Japanese brand, the nano socks. You have socks, you can wear it for a day, and at the end of the day, you will wash the nano.
Dun, 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 dun. Patricio.
Hello.
Oh, Patricio, it's so good to see you, my friend. Have you seen the change from the previous intake to this one, Patricio?
Yes, definitely.
Good, good, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
All right, that's good. So last intake, first one. Stewart, let's mute Stewart. And now we are improving on that. So when we launch products to the market, we need to be okay with prototyping. The market, and this is the funny thing, guys, the market is okay when you are doing prototypes because you are honest straight away. You tell them this is something new, but we are doing this in order to reinvent the industry. So that's what you do then. You start putting all together for that to actually happen. So I'm very, very happy with how we go in these regards. All right, good, guys. So the first group will be discussing when to say yes to an innovation, when to say no. And the mindset is, all right, not because it's new, it means that we should do it. All right? Not because it's a new technology, it means that we should apply it. Not because there is a new software in the market that is so attractive to many people, it means that we need to do it, that we need to use it. Not because the industry is going that way, it means that necessarily we need to go that way. Not because there is a new technology available for us to build something new, it means that we should use that technology or that material or that raw material. So it's that analysis, all right? And this is connected to something that is called responsible innovation. And responsible innovation is something that is critical. There is actually one professor in France, Pavier, that is really, really good at this analysis, which is social innovation and responsible innovation. Actually, let me try to find this guy quickly for me to share this to you. Copy. All right, so in the chat, a good link for you to check Alex Pavier. He's a really, really expert in terms of innovation from France. He has been in Australia many, many times presenting seminars about innovation. And yes, I met Xavier here when we were doing something for Inside Academy, which was a school I was working for about 2-3 years ago. And we invited Xavier to give us a master class about innovation, So Xavier is a really, really good professor in these regards. And the link is there. All right, so the first group, please go ahead. Tell us a good couple of examples when to say yes, when to say no to an innovation.
Okay, so we say yes to innovation because it creates value, creates opportunities, creates jobs. Another thing is it creates a disruption, for example, the internet or social media. So it created a new way of communicating with people. And then connected to that, we go to like marketing. So it disrupted the way marketing is done or advertising is done. Previously, we had marketing materials that use plastic or a lot of paper consumption, and now it's moved. Companies are moving to social media to just display it on the screen rather than using paper or plastic. This is one thing that why we think innovation is good, and when should we say no to innovation is an example that was put up by our group is the Volkswagen emission scandal that happened. So there's a project.
Oh, yes. Tell me about it.
So for this one, Volkswagen got fined by a huge amount by cheating the measures of the emission scandal. So the project manager in this instance should have said no when they were tasked to manipulate the results
of that technology.
That technology, correct. Or manipulate the outcome.
Well, these are really, really good examples. All right. The mindset here, and again, is not because it's new, it means that we need to do it. I learned this the hard way. I'm going to tell you, right? I'm going to give you something very personal. I learned this the hard way. I have been in technology, and I had this boss, which was one of the best bosses I have ever had, that told me, Santi, we do not marry. That was the word that he used. We do not marry with technology. Not because it's new, not because it has whistles, not because it's fancy. It means that we should acquire that technology. All right. And it was hard for me to understand it because I was younger and I was like, no, but we can't buy it. We have the team to test it. And he went like, no, let's think about this twice. So I learned this the hard way. And now I know that technology is not the first thing. The first thing is you get the right people, then you get the right processes, and then the technology, it should be this one or that one, but it's not the core. So good recognition of, all right, when to say yes, when to say no. All right, good one. All right, who is the group that is explaining the impacts, the direct impacts of innovation? How we explain direct impact of innovation to someone that hasn't heard about this? Which group is doing this? Direct impacts. Which group is doing that? The direct impacts, all right? So impacts to our employees and impacts to our customers. Who is doing that?
We were Diego and Tanya and
all right.
Stuart. I don't know what he is. Maybe he left.
All right. Do you want to go, Sarah?
We were talking about, for example, social media.
Yeah.
That they have an impact for as a mental issue, which is this one is indirect impact probably for people. And because
right,
if they keep...
Sorry to interrupt, but if the innovation is affecting people, our customers, or our employees, the analysis is that is a direct impact to our innovation. Yeah.
Yes.
So if social media is affecting people in that regards, that is a direct impact. It's not indirect. Just to discuss that. Sorry about it, Sarah. Please keep going.
Now maybe they can affect them directly with the fake news. Tanya was saying before.
Yep. Yeah, it's a direct impact to how they think and then how they react to that thinking. So social media channels, they have that situation in which, all right, we produce something, we offer this to the market, we allow people to use it, and there are some impacts that are negatively associated to this technology, like addiction, for example, or misinformation, for example. Good. So that is a really, really good example of a direct impact of an innovation and why we need to think twice before we say yes to an innovation if the negative impact is going to actually affect someone or a group of people dramatically. All right, fantastic. And the last group was discussing a little bit about what are the indirect impacts of an innovation. Which was that group, please?
Yeah, we are. And we spoke about the indirect impact in the environment, about the innovation. We spoke about example like years ago when they introduced the nuclear power, was a big innovation because it was cheap to produce power in that moment, okay? And still be cheaper that if you compare with another like wind power, hydroelectric power, or solar power. But the problem of the nuclear power is the waste. So because the waste will be very risk and very dangerous for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay.
So the indirect impact is like they don't know what to do with the waste, and it costs a lot of money to keep the waste away from people as a security.
That's such an important thing to consider. But you were also mentioning, Manuel, the Tesla thing with the batteries.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
another innovation is about the electric car. So
Yep.
we are agreed the electric car is good for environment because produce nothing, reduce the CO
emissions? Yeah.
emission. See, but the problem will be in the future. What will happen with the batteries in the future? So
Why?
we don't know.
Because I guess they are very toxic and they
yeah, because all the batteries they are toxic. Yeah. So what will happen? We don't know yet.
What will happen?
Fracking will be there as well.
Ale, what is that?
Fracking, it will go in that example as well.
Fracking,
Yes.
when extracting oil?
Yeah, because it's a cheap way, but it just wastes a lot of water.
And oh my goodness, such a good example of it. Such a good example of it. So yes, we have an innovation to extract oil. Still, this will impact the rivers and the creeks around. Should we say yes or no? And that is what we need to discuss in that situation if that happens. Instead of just going, oh yes, we need to do it because of growth and money and so on and so on. That's why responsible innovation is really, really important topic here. Guys, amazing class. Thank you very much for your participation. Takeaway, when you think about innovation, think about something that will help people to get a product or a service for the first time. And happens to be that they will say thank you. They will say thanks to your business because they never thought they will have access to it. So that is the meaning of innovation. That is the meaning. And there is someone, by the way, that talks a lot about it. I don't know if you guys know this guy, Guy Kawasaki. Anyone knows Kawasaki? Let me send you a link because that could be a good one for you guys as well. What is it? Just 1 second. Got it. Just 1 second.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's in the chat now. Well, not yet. 1 second. All right, this guy, it's actually called a guy. He is really good at this concept of meaning of innovation, a meaning. All right, we do an innovation to change something, to make the world better. Otherwise, why to innovate? Yeah, so it's a good perspective. This one from Guy Kawasaki. He say it's not just about money component. That's a good outcome, but it shouldn't be the main motivator. So great chat, that one there from Guy Kawasaki. And yeah, and the purpose of this class as a final closure for this class is let's use innovation in project management by making people in the company to change. All right, we tell them about innovation, we explain them that this is important. And if the company becomes open to change, okay with innovation, then it's going to be a good company for the project manager. The worst thing that could happen for a project manager is to be working in a company that doesn't want to change. You got it? You got it? A project manager should be working in a company that is open to change, because that is like water for the fish. You will be dancing, right word, dancing from project to project, dancing, jumping, the butterfly from project. Awesome. So if that is not the case, because the company is rigid and is not open to change, then you need to start finding stakeholders that are okay with change and develop culture. If the company doesn't change, move on, because the company will die. you cannot maintain a company forever using sustaining innovation. All right, couple of examples of variations to this. McDonald's could be one of them. I reckon McDonald's will never change because the margins that they do are so good, and they will continue with sustaining. But a lot of companies will be disrupted by others if they don't are the ones doing the change first. We talk about Uber and the taxi industry. Guys, any questions before I finish the class? Any feedback, anything that you want to say? All good, Sergio?
Yes, but I have a question. How can I communication with you when it's not in a class, maybe by email or something like that?
Yes, my email in the chat right now.
Oops.
The other way that you can communicate with me is through LinkedIn. I always connected in LinkedIn. So if you want to search for me as well in LinkedIn, you will find me. There you go. Website.
Santi, I think you're sending the emails to me.
What is that, Sarah?
In the chat, you're sending just to me.
All right. Sorry about it. So email, website.
I already sent emails that email, and I never receive answer.
Oh, Sergio, I'm so sorry then, because that's my email.
Yeah.
That's my email, but I pride myself of replying pretty soon to emails.
Oh.
Probably I just misuse. Yeah, probably just misuse it, because when someone write to me, I reply like this. It's kind of my religion. So so if I didn't reply to you, please forward it again, because probably you just went somewhere else, and
Okay.
I can't find it. Just forward it to me. What else? Yeah, there's some channels for you to find me, and also in LinkedIn, please. Important to connect, especially because there is a network class coming soon. So let's start connecting on LinkedIn as well, for us to start doing the networking that we need before we do the networking class. All right, guys, have a beautiful weekend. If you need anything, just write an email to me and I reply it. And I will see you next Saturday. Really good news for next Saturday. We're going to have someone from La Trobe University, which is an expert. He's one of the Australian experts in innovation. All right, so I was able to secure Cesarella, which is a doctor in innovation, and she will be joining us next Saturday with a fantastic presentation about how we can implement innovation in the workplace. So don't miss it, because it's a really good chance for you to be close and actually connect with someone that has very, very high reputation in this country when it comes to innovation. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you for coming, and see you soon.
Thank you,
guys.
Santi.
Thank you, Santi. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.